I did some script blocks, and this is part 3 of how to make a character customization. Okay, so for part 4, we're actually gonna make a shirt and pants. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is in our character customization GUI, in the selection bar, we currently have this frame that in there we have the color selection. But we don't only want a color select, but we as well want a clothing select. To be precise, a shirt select. So that's just how we'll call it. And now we want to, in a second, change something in this local script. We only want to change the name from color selection to shirt. And now, in the recent tutorial, I have said about this, that we want to add stuff here. So we as well want to go into the other button we have here, and we want to copy the line here, so shirt selection. And in this other script from the color selection, we want to paste the line and add it equals to false. And here we want to copy the first line, but only to the point of .visible. And in the shirt selection local script, paste this line and say equals to false. So that way, if we have the color selection open and open the shirt selection, it will also close the color selection. I'm just gonna add another line because we will do this for another script anyways. And now we can come to the important part. So we have this color selection screen right here. So we want to actually, in the character customization GUI, add a frame. And we want to call the frame shirt selection. Then we want to make the color selection invisible. And then I want to make it so that my shirt selection is blue and that it is positioned around here, but with an anchor point of here, so that the frame will be here. And I want the size to be most of the screen on one axis. Yeah, I want it to just be one big frame. Well, to be specific, I kind of want it to be like this. Want the position to be like this, and the anchor point like this, and then it will be positioned somewhat like here. Then in the shirt selection screen, I just add a UI corner because it, in my opinion, looks nicer. You can design this as you wish, but we need a local script in here. In this local script, we're gonna write script.parent.selectionbar.changed colon to next function if script.parent.selectionbar.visible equals to false, then script.parent.visible equals to false. So basically what this made said if something from the selection bar, so this thing changed, then we check if it's still visible, and if that's not the case, it as well makes itself invisible. So if someone turns off this button, if someone clicks this button but they still had the shirt selection open, then it will close the shirt selection automatically. Then what we want to do is we want to just add a title, because in my opinion that looks nicest. And now comes some actually interesting thing, very interesting thing. In the shirt selection, I'll add a scrolling frame. The scrolling frame I will name options, and then I'll just put the anchor point to a regular 0.5, and put it so that the position is somewhere around the middle, around the top middle, and make the size so it's most of the screen except of the title. And I'll put the background transparency to 1. And now we can come to some very complicated stuff. So in the options scrolling frame, we'll add a UI grid layout. Then the UI grid layout will make it so that the cell padding has some very small numbers, 0.02, 0.02, and we'll make the cell padding 0.2, 0.2, and we will leave all the other settings as is, but we will add an image button into here. This image button we will just simply call shirt, and I'm personally gonna add a UI corner in here. This UI corner I'll make have the corner radius of 0.2, and now we just need to add a local script. Here we want to say script depend in replicated storage. We want to add a remote event which we will call change shirt, and then here we want to do game.replicated storage.change shirt :fire server, and then we want to add speech marks, and then this is the interesting part. So what you want to do is you want to go onto the Roblox website, and then we need to go over to avatar shop. Then we want to go over to clothing, classic shirts, and we just want to select whichever shirt we want to have first. So I'm just gonna select a regular Roblox jacket, and I'm gonna go up to the top of the screen here, roblox.com/catalog, and I'm gonna copy the URL, and then I'm gonna go back into Roblox Studio, and I'm gonna go up here to avatar, read builder, block avatar, and then I'm gonna insert into him a shirt, and then I'm gonna put the shirt template into here, tap enter, and then as we can see he has the shirt. Now I'm gonna copy the result, and you may think this is the same, but no, actually not. It may be able to register the URL, but then it makes an asset ID, because now if we copy this and go back onto the Roblox website and open up a new tab, paste in the asset ID, we're not on the same tab anymore. So like this, we know that this is actually how we want it to be. So we just copy this shirt template and go back into our script and paste this URL into this speech marks. Now what we want to do is we want to, in server script service, character customization menu, change appearance, we want to add a script which we will call change shirt. Now in here we just simply want to say game.replicated storage.change shirt .onServer event :connect function plr, ID local char equals to plr.character char.shirt template equals to ID. So actually how this works is basically that if the remote event gets fired off, so if someone clicks onto one of these shirts, then it finds the player's character who fired it off, and then it says char.shirt, so the shirt of the character that fired it off, .shirt template equals to ID, so it just makes it so he wears the correct shirt. So if we play, as we can see, if we scroll in and click, actually I think we have already been wearing this. So currently we're just wearing any shirt, so if we now click the button, as we can see, we start wearing the jacket or the shirt that we had selected. Perfect. So what we'd essentially do if we would want to add a second shirt is we will just duplicate the image button, open up the script, and replace the URL. That's all we'd have to do. And if you wish, you can also just, for images, go into the doodle and just scroll in onto the shirt or whatever you would be wearing. Then go here onto the avatar and just put it onto default or onto custom if you wish. And then you would just try to find the suitable pose, open the snipping tool, you would make a new snip and just copy over how this looks. Just make a snip of this. Copy, go back into Roblox Studio. On the shirt, make it so that the image is just so that you would, in your snipping tool, you would just save the snip you made for, let's say, shirt 1, and then you would just here go onto image, add image, choose file, and then look for however you named your shirt. It should be a PNG. Then you would click open, create, and then it should load for a second. And as we can see, the image loaded in. You could probably make a better one, but this is just an example of just generally how you do it. And as I said, you would repeat this for other jackets you would make. And we actually forgot to test what would happen if we as we can see, if we open the color selection and open this, the color selection closes, and the opposite way. But what if we have this open and close the menu? It works flawlessly. Now if we open this, we should probably just stop the game. Go down here in the shirt selection, copy this local script and paste it into color selection. Perfect. Now we want to do the same for a pants selection, because in my opinion that should fit into the same video. So we want to make our current shirt selection invisible, so you don't start with that being visible. And what we want to do is we want to duplicate the shirt selection but call it pants selection. And I'm gonna make this visible because we will need to do some changes, and the local script would be the same. What we want to do is we want to go into the title and make, instead of shirts, say pants. Now something important, what we definitely cannot forget is, remember when we, in the selection bar, we as well need a button for the shirt selection. You can add a logo for this if you wish. But in here it as well has a local script, and we still have a line empty. And here we just want to replace shirt selection with pants selection. And then here we want to copy over this line, the whole line, and just replace color with shirt. Go into this button, so this is the shirt selection. So here we just paste the line and replace it here with pants, and in the color selection replace it with pants. So that way it should still work, but we will still want to add one more line for the next tutorial. And the only difference for the pants selection would be that in the options, these are not called shirt but pants. The only difference for here would be that we would use pants URLs instead of shirt URLs. But that's pretty much it. So this was how to make a character customization menu that saves part 3. I am Scriptoplots, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Bye!